Hi, everybody. Back with the Triple Play Podcast. Listen, one of these days we might change the name to Double Play Podcast. But
Hey,
we all got stuff going on. So
yeah.
Nick's been here every time.
Well,
So
hey, I do the editing for everyone, so I have to be here every time.
that's true. That's true. Nick does the heavy lifting. So real quick, do want to say thank you. We had a video catch traction yesterday, this morning and into today. Gained like 40 views in just a short amount of time.
Yeah,
So we appreciate everybody that's been watching
yeah.
us. Just put us on in the background. We're not too annoying, I don't think so. All right, Nick,
Hey,
tell them what we're talking about.
we're talking about the 2023 free agent class. And now this is only players that are guaranteed free agents until they sign a new contract. There's no player opt-outs after this
Yeah,
year that we're going to talk about today.
yeah, absolutely. And do you want to just go ahead and pick the first player?
All right, I think we should talk about Trea Turner. He's probably the biggest name, or maybe the second biggest behind the guy you're probably going to pick next. But Trea Turner, I think he's an interesting one for sure because all 30 teams would offer Trea Turner money if he said he wanted to go there. And I don't know. He says he loves LA. I think I could see him staying in LA for sure because I think he's well loved in LA.
Now I will say, like I could see him staying,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he is young enough to go with a big deal or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think the Dodgers.
You good, buddy? Technical difficulties, y'all. Sorry about that.
That Scherzer would be a guy that the Dodgers would bring back. Um, but they didn't, and I could see Trea Turner in another jersey next year for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he left LA, but I just think, you know, this website has him valuated at 29 million as an average annual value.
Yeah.
I think the Dodgers would be crazy not to offer him that for however like 8, 9 years probably just
Yeah,
because
I
he's
was
that
thinking
young.
eight. I was thinking eight as well. That gets him to 37. Then he signs a couple, maybe 1, 2 year deals
Right,
or something. Maybe comes back to the Nationals for a couple
right,
years.
right. There's a
Something,
little
yeah.
little comeback tour.
Yeah, but I could see. I definitely think it's going to be a big time contract. I don't think it's going to be a Carlos Correa 3 year with opt
No,
outs and stuff. I think it'll be a 8 year deal. He seems like a guy that wants to just have a place.
right.
But yeah, I mean, I honestly am going to call that he goes somewhere else. You said he likes LA. There's another team in LA that could use some players. I'm just saying.
I don't think that any good free agent that has interest in winning can look at what the Angels have done and just think I need to go there. Now,
That's true.
do they have Trout and Shohei? Yeah, but they find ways to lose, man.
Hmm.
They're like the opposite of the Dodgers. The Dodgers just find ways to
It's
win.
hard. It is a stink. It is a stink that they give off. So, but anyway, so you're saying probably comes back.
I think he comes back on a long term deal for big time money for sure.
Gotcha. The next guy, I'm actually going to bring up the next guy as Noah Syndergaard.
Oh, I was wondering about
And he went to the Phillies at the trade deadline, trying to help them out here in their playoff push. I think Noah Syndergaard's a guy that signs another 1 year prove it deal. He just did, he came off of a big injury stint.
that.
Guy come out here, got his feet wet a little bit with some good money.
Yeah.
The Angels trying to make it work there. Took a chance on a guy. And when you're a team like the Angels, I feel like you said, some of the more proven guys might not want to come, but you kind of got to take chances.
Right.
I think Noah Syndergaard probably signs another 1 year prove it deal, then tries to, capitalize on maybe a good season, maybe a 5 year deal or something.
I'm gonna agree with you on that, and I think he signs that 1 year deal with the Blue Jays. For some reason, I
That's a
just feel
that'd
like
be a good one.
that's who he got drafted by, and he
Yeah.
got traded. But he just feels like a Blue Jay to me for some reason.
Yeah,
Like
and
I
no,
don't know why.
that'd be a great lineup to have behind you, get your
Yeah,
wins up,
and
have some confidence.
you've got other competent starters in there like Alec Manoah and Kevin
Yeah.
Gausman who are great, and he can provide some of that veteran leadership to Manoah and Nate Pearson, who's a big time prospect. They've been trying to keep healthy and get good performance out of. But
I do think we'll see a better Syndergaard next year. I
yeah,
really do think so. I don't think he's washed or anything.
right. He's not even 30 yet. You know,
Yeah, no. No.
he's not even past his peak physical prime. So he should be all right.
All right, I guess it is your turn.
All right. Since you didn't bring him up, I'm going to Aaron Judge.
I mean, I think he's
Where's the big man going?
I think he's leaving. I
I
mean,
think if they get one of these, he'll stay. Big time money, 10 years, whatever he wants.
I'm going to be honest, and several weeks ago I called that I thought that this was the Yankees' year. I'm going to go ahead and say right now that I just don't know if the Yankees can get out of this little rut. I mean, they might get out of it enough to, go ahead and lock up what they need to lock up, but
right.
I don't know. You could tell this is weighed heavy on their minds.
Well, I think it's just when you lose Luis Severino, you trade for Frankie Montas, and he's been terrible.
Mm-hmm.
He's given up 5 and 6 runs in his 2 starts. He just hasn't been good. And you lose, you don't have LeMahieu, Stanton, Severino. When you lose all those big pieces, it is hard on you all at once. To ask 3 or 4 rookies to come up and produce like those guys were to sustain your success.
Yeah, and it's just it plays on your mind. You finally get it together one year, and then now it like you said, it is a tough city to play for. So I ain't. But I just don't think. I think if Judge wanted to stay, he would have took. I know he's kind of betting on himself. He's 30 years old. I think he would have took a deal at the beginning of the season if he was more apt to stay. I think he would be a guy that would be willing to test the free agent market a little bit.
I'm definitely willing to say that he tests the waters, but I do think, and I think he might do a full-on cannonball instead of dipping his toe in if they don't win the World Series.
Yeah, and now how much is he valued at? Because it's got to be
$32 million a year.
Yeah, I'd say closer to the 40 million range per year.
I'd say he's going to get 35 plus.
I'd say 7 years ish.
Yeah, 7 years, 35 plus, 35 to 40 million probably. Is what that's so much money.
That is a lot of money. But I mean, he's a guy that you stick out there and you're just like, all right, every once in a while we give you a day of rest, but you can't much fault him. He took a chance on himself and he's really made it pay off. So
yeah, for sure.
The next guy that I probably want to talk about is, you know what? And I'll actually bring him up. I'm not going to talk about that guy right below Aaron Judge. Let's talk about Adam Wainwright for just a second here. Adam Wainwright, St. Louis Cardinal, Yadier Molina's duo, buddy. Like, he's 40 years old, about to turn 41, has been competent this year. I mean,
he's been competitive for sure.
I just don't think this guy, until he finally retires, I just don't think he'll have one of those years that's just like, he's never been, you see a lot of guys as they get older, their velocity goes down, and that's how they regress. Adam Wainwright's never been that guy anyway. So he's never been the guy that go out there and just try to blow a man down anyway. So I think Wainwright could sign another 1-year deal if the St. Louis Cardinals are going to keep the pieces together.
I think if he does decide to sign back, there's no shot he leaves St. Louis.
No.
If he decides to play another year, he's not leaving St. Louis.
Yeah, no, it'll be the same team for sure.
And I just think the only thing that would even convince him to stay was if Yachty and Albert stayed another year.
Yeah, I'm telling Yachty, staying would be the big piece in that. I mean, it's kind of, has Yachty said anything about it being his farewell tour?
Oh yeah, he said this
okay.
Is it.
I thought so, and I think that Albert's kind of said the same thing.
Albert said this is it for him as well.
God, Albert's so close to 700 home run.
Dude, I need him to get it so bad.
He's really just took off here lately, and he's had 2 games with 2 home runs recently.
I wonder if he's thinking about it. Like, I wonder if he's like, dang, it's over in a month and a half. Like,
yeah,
I'm never gonna get another shot at this. I gotta get this. I gotta be the machine again for a month.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like you said, those couple guys coming back would help. But I think if they wanted to keep the core together and Wainwright really did still want to play, he would come back regardless.
For sure.
And like you said, he's not going to go anywhere else.
So. No, I just couldn't see it.
Who is the next guy that you would like to discuss?
I think we need to talk about the Trumpets, Edwin Diaz, and the year he is having in a contract year.
Yes, and I think that there is no way that he is anything but a Met next year. That guy, in my opinion, is synonymous with the Mets. Like, I just do not see him being anywhere else.
Really?
Now, I will say that I feel like they stuck with him through some shaky times too. So they showed their loyalty to him. He has come out. Mr. Trumpets himself has looked very good this year. and TikTok's all ablaze with the trumpets. But I just do not think there's any way that they let Diaz walk. I just don't.
I think it
And
would be
Cohen,
foolish of them.
yeah, Cohen's going to spend the money
Oh
anyway.
yeah, for sure. That's the biggest thing that I worry about with the Mets as a long term, rival. Cohen's gonna spend the money to be successful.
Exactly. And I just don't see Diaz ever. He's just a guy that I just see as a Met. I don't see him
Yeah,
as somebody that could ever be anywhere else.
I get what you're saying. I really do. But as a Braves fan, I hope he doesn't sign back with the Mets.
Well, obviously.
But could I see it? Absolutely, because I do think that they do like him a lot, and he's just a fan favorite because of the
Yep,
trumpets, the
absolutely.
stuff like that. I think
Now,
he probably does that.
what's the value on a guy like that? Now, that's a good question.
Now
On a
it
closer.
says he's valuated at 15 million, but a closer that strikes out over 50% of the batters he faces is probably going to make at least 22, 23 a year.
Could we see highest closer like yearly salary ever out of him? Because I think he just come at a great time. Like he just really turned it on at the right time, and I think you could be talking about the highest salary ever given to a closer per year. That is.
Um,
I wouldn't even know who would probably have the highest closing salary that there's ever been.
um, I'm not really sure when this was last updated because it says that the highest is 14 million, but we paid Kenley Jansen 19 million this year.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, I thought
That's
that maybe Kenley was a guy that had kind of crested that. I wouldn't say Mo because he's been retired for a minute, and people are always going above and beyond with the next big deal.
okay. Okay, hold on. Kenley and Craig both are making the highest salary for a closer this year at 16 million. So I'm saying Edwin's probably getting 20.
Yeah, I'd say 20 is a good bet. I'd say I wouldn't think that it would be like that 8 or 9 year deal. I would say capped at 5.
Yeah, just because he's 28 and he
Yeah.
relies on velocity,
hmm
and guys lose that velocity over time.
Yeah, it would be nice in the next couple of years to see him try to get another breaking pitch. But I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, it's hard to argue with what works while it
right,
works. So, but I could see a 5 year deal. I just see him being a Met.
for sure. I can agree with that.
A couple guys, a guy that I think is going to retire. I'll just mention him real quick. I think Zach Greinke's time
Mhm.
is done.
Yeah, I think he did a 1 year deal with Kansas City. Went to where
Yep.
he won the Cy Young. And I think he just wanted to end it there, maybe.
Yep, I think he's done.
Yeah.
I think a guy that might be done, and I hate to say it because he's a favorite of mine on MLB The Show for sure, but Zach Britton.
hmm
I
He's
think
just kind
Zach
of
Britton.
falling off a little bit.
Yeah, and he's tried to be a small piece for some bigger teams, and everything, and you hate to see it at it because we knew these guys when they were absolutely at their best too.
hmm
So that's hard. Um,
Now, I think on Britain, I don't believe that if he still thinks he has more to offer to the game, I don't think he should retire because he could certainly be a great mentor in a rebuilding bullpen.
yeah.
Like I think he still could serve a purpose to a team for
So you
sure.
so you think it would be more of like he goes to a team that's kind of trying to build than a team that's trying to win?
You know, he wants to stay in the show. They need guidance. They need veteran guidance in their
Yeah.
clubhouse. That's just it's one of those things.
A little Orioles reunion maybe?
Absolutely.
I'd love it.
Perfect example. Perfect example.
Yes. Okay. I tell you what reunion I want to see, and I don't even know if he would really help us that much. I'd love to see the Craig reunion, the Craig Kimbrell reunion. Because I don't have this notion that the Braves will hang on to every piece that they've kind of tried to add to their bullpen here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a little Craig Kimbrell action for a year, give him his send off and everything. But we could talk about those two guys kind of together. You got Kenley and
Mhm.
Craig right there. I don't think Craig is going to be going back to where he is now. But I could see Craig Kimbrell still pitching another year for sure. And
Oh yeah.
I think that he goes to a team that's trying to win. I think
Yeah.
so.
I think I think Kimbrel and Kenley have just established themselves as winners. I mean, I think Kenley's made the postseason every year of his career with the Dodgers and is about to do so with the Braves unless something goes drastically wrong.
Yep.
And Kimbrel, with the exception of a couple years with the Padres, maybe he's made the playoffs quite a bit with the Red Sox and was very, very good in the postseason with the Red Sox. They're too competitive, I believe, and too good, and they've won too much. Winners like them don't go to losing teams.
Yep. I think that teams like the Mariners, teams like maybe the Twins don't, retain Jorge Lopez. I think the Padres might be back in the market next year, and that's, something to say, but you never know. But I could see these guys going to a team that's kind of like a wild card team this year that's just trying to get a little closer to a championship series. But Kenley showed that he can still do it. I know he's allowed some runs here and there, but everybody's going to allow a couple runs here. You can't be. Not all of us can be Edwin Diaz.
Yeah.
But I see Craig and Kenley helping out some teams
for sure.
Is there anybody else right here that you see that you're really interested in talking about?
Might break my heart. Dansby Swanson.
So you're going to page 2 there on the top, but I love Dansby.
I do too.
Love everything he's done for the team.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a young man that is playing such good baseball right now for the Braves, and there is nowhere for him to go, Nick.
I'll tell you what. I don't care what it takes. DH one of them.
I don't think that they'll DH one of them. The thing that I do see happening, I could absolutely see kind of like the Austin Riley deal where Vaughn Grisham plays, maybe a year in the outfield or something, maybe a year or two in the outfield, and just to see, like, because for a fact that somebody's gonna get hurt. Somebody's gonna get hurt. It's not always gonna be great. Maybe if please don't bring this down on me, dear Lord. But if Austin Riley was to get hurt just for a little bit, Vaughn steps in, plays some third base, and then if Dansby's taking a day off, Vaughn comes in, plays shortstop. But I could see him because I do think the Braves are going to clean house a little bit in the outfield this upcoming offseason.
Mm-hmm.
They've locked in Michael Harris. They've got Acuna. I think Vaughn Grisham will be a great piece to slide over there in left field. I know Eddie Rosario signed a 2-year deal. He's kind of getting toward the DH area. Anyway, I know he's made some defensive plays in the past, but we know that he's moving toward DH more than anything. I know that d'Arnaud's probably moving toward DH a little bit too. So
d'Arnaud's probably. I hope we keep him around, but I think at a certain point that no, we have him for another year.
Okay, I thought so. I think after that though, it'll be time for the Contreras show. Honestly,
I think at a certain point there's going to be a time where Contreras is no longer the backup and it's d'Arnaud. And I would still like to keep d'Arnaud around because he's still a very, very good baseball player.
And I'm telling you what, look at Travis d'Arnaud, and you tell me that guy looks like he would be the guy that he is for the Braves. I swear, the dude
he's a stud, man.
He is actually pretty scary. Like, dude gets in the box and actually has scary pops. So, but Dansby, I think they keep him. I think they right the ship. I know some stuff went down with the Freddie Freeman stuff that nobody really ever knows about. I think they right the ship. They keep Dansby Swanson, especially if we're at least in the NLCS. If we were to get knocked out first round in a wild card situation, I don't know what to do.
I think if he leaves, it's probably going to be because the Braves don't want him back for whatever he's asking.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I've heard it out of another beloved franchise hero before that they want to spend their career here. This is where they want to be. And, had my heart broken once, by lovely Freddie Freeman.
But like I said, I think a lot of stuff went on with that we didn't really know about. I don't think
probably still don't know the full story.
I would have liked Dansby to lock up his position toward the beginning of the year, just like, like we would have liked Freddie to do. Now Vaughn Grisham's come up and done what he's done. So, I mean, like, if they do move on from Dansby, I don't want to say it's his fault, but he opened the door to the possibility, Like I said, I do think he stays.
Yeah.
I really think that they could, slide Braun Grisham into left field and be just fine. He's a young guy. He's an athletic guy. You don't have to. I mean, I'm not saying that it can get tough. Big league pop-ups are big league pop-ups. It's not it's not.
Yeah.
We're not playing rec league down here.
Right.
But if Austin Riley can make it work out there for a little bit, I think Vaughn Grisham could for sure.
Yeah. I think at some point they're so naturally athletic that they could probably adapt to any position you put them at if you put them there for long enough, give them enough reps.
I will say there's only one more guy back on that last page that I wanted to talk about that we didn't talk about, and that was Clayton Kershaw. What is this? I am so surprised that Clayton Kershaw has not been locked up for at least a couple more years by the Dodgers. I figured, 37.
He was a free agent last year. And
exactly.
They just signed him to a 1-year deal because he was injured or had a lot of injury problems.
Exactly. And I understand that from a club standpoint, but with everything that Kershaw did for him, I figured 4 or 5 year deal, something, maybe a little bit of a hometown discount just because of the injury, but I'm surprised. He will not go anywhere else, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, he's from California. He grew up a Dodgers fan. He is a Dodgers legend. Like, I don't see him leaving. I just don't think there's a way that someone could swoon him away unless LA just did not want him back, and just didn't offer him a contract. I just think
I think that definitely won't happen. I think that LA's synonymous with Clayton Kershaw, so he'll be there. He's like an Adam Wainwright guy,
Right, he's not leaving.
He'll be there for sure. I don't think we have to worry about that one too much. Let's go ahead and talk about another Braves name because we're Braves fans and we're homers. So,
Lord.
Adam Duvall.
I don't want him back on the Braves, but I do wish him well in unless he's playing against the Braves. But I do hope he does well because I do love the guy.
Absolutely.
But man, does he infuriate me sometimes.
I tell you what, that joker right there will get on a streak. He'll hit 3 home runs in one game. 2 games later, he hits 2 more, and then he'll go on a big cold streak. Now, I will say, stepping in center field last year in our playoff run and everything helped us out so much.
Right.
You can't say enough for what he has done. We let him go one time, brought him back last year. But I think now with the youth that we have, the players that we've locked up, Michael Harris doing what he has coming up in center field.
Right.
I do think, seeing as we've already got Eddie Rosario locked up, I have no clue what's going to go on with this Marcell Ozuna business. Like, I do not envy the Braves front office at all with that mess. But
that is Anthopoulos' Patrick Corbin right there.
Yeah.
The one thing that looked like a good sign to start with, but blew up in his face.
Yeah. And, I don't want to say, I'm not trying to, defend the guy at all. There's plenty of these superstar players that do foolish stuff behind the scenes and never get caught. Right. It just so happens that Marcell Ozuna's rate of getting caught has went up a lot. And he's just done some foolish stuff, just stuff that you can't do when you're already under the microscope. So I think Adam Duvall's gone, and I hate to say it, but like if Ozuna's back next year, and Duvall's gone, that kind of stinks for the franchise seeing that.
Because at least Duvall offers well above average defense and with some pop. Marcell has a 650 OPS and plays terrible defense and is slow. He's just useless to a team.
And I'll ask you this real quick, and then we'll get back to our list. What's Grossman's contract situation? Robbie Grossman.
Oh, he's a free agent after this year.
Okay. Because he's the type of guy that probably deserves a starting spot somewhere, but I do think he could be a great guy to have just as a utility guy to plug and play around and everything. I wouldn't mind the Braves just
hanging on to because if something happens, and even just say theoretically we lock up Dansby long term, we use Vaughn Grisham as a centerpiece for a big trade or something, for a big starter or something like that, just theoretical.
That's a good point.
I think we keep Robbie Grossman around, who has a 990 OPS versus left-handed pitching, to maybe platoon with Eddie Rosario.
Exactly.
Yep. I think that could be, and he's not going to be expensive because he had a way down year from what he did last year. Last year he had like 23, 24 home runs and was walking like crazy, and everyone's like, "Dang, what is this guy? Who is he?"
Yeah.
And then this year, He had 2 home runs before he got traded to the Braves, and he had 2 home runs in the series against the Mets last week.
Yep. Now like I said, that the Braves done good last year with those free agents, making sure that they look good after they made those trades. It's the same thing with Robert Grossman. The usage wasn't there at the very beginning, and everybody was probably like, "Well, dang, you traded for a guy you're not really using him that much." But they're putting him in the proper situations to get some good looks. We've appreciated it, that's for sure. So I could see him hanging on to him.
For sure. I could definitely see him staying, on like a 1 or 2 year, like $8 million, $10 million deal, something cheap.
All right. Who's another guy that just jumps out at you on this list?
I won't say that he jumps out at me, but I'll be interested to see what kind of money he gets. And that is Mitch Haniger.
Really?
Because last year had 34 home runs, was the heart and soul of the team that was trying to make its playoff push and break that 20-year streak. And this year, he started off hot, got hurt second week of the season, come back hot as a firecracker, hyped up. He is, to Mariners fans, what I don't even know, like what a Freddie Freeman, like he is that franchise icon that's actually done something good and stayed through the rebuild the whole time and wants to see the success. So, I mean, I think you could see definitely like a 5-year, $60-70 million deal probably.
Yeah, I don't.
Not amazing, but he's still good.
I do think their outfield's getting a little crowded. They replaced some guys, when everybody was injured. Kyle Lewis was injured, Mitch Haniger was injured. So they replaced some guys, put some guys out there. I do think they need to clean it up a little bit. But I, like you said, if the guy is a name for your team, like if he's synonymous with the Mariners, then you should try to bring him back, especially if you're, it's not like he's fallen off a cliff or anything.
Oh no, he's still producing.
Man got hurt. So, I give him the respect he's due, bring him back, see what he can do. A guy that jumps out at me here is a guy that now plays for the New York Yankees, and that is Andrew Benintendi, a 28-year-old looking for a longer-term deal. Obviously, I just did when they traded for him. I just didn't think he fit the role. I know that the Yankees have went with some more role players and everything, but I felt like they had the role players. Like, I don't think Benintendi fits the role in New York. I definitely don't see him there next year. I don't see any of the top teams wanting Benintendi next year either. I think he's a guy that's going to have to go to a team that's trying to make a push. Maybe a team like the Twins could use.
I could see that for sure.
Yeah, because they've always had some outfielders that are kind of on the borderline of, should you be here or should you not? You probably should just DH. But I could see Benintendi next to Buxton in the outfield for
sure. I could definitely see
that. Somebody is bound to take a chance on a guy that is a good contact hitter and, has several years left in the tank.
Yeah. I mean, he's an above-average on-base guy. He's not going to have a lot of power, but he's going to play great defense and get on base a lot. That's a great two-hole hitter,
Yeah, I don't think
he's going to hit your homers, but he's going to score you some runs.
I don't think he's getting over $25 million or anything like that.
Oh, no, nothing crazy like that. No,
absolutely not. I don't know what he's valued at. I'd say around $20 million-ish would be a pretty good deal for him. I'd say right over 20.
I'd say the longer term the deal, the least money per year, like the least annual value.
For sure.
Like I say, if he's 5 years, I'd go 5 years, 100 mil.
Yeah,
that's just 5 for 20.
Too bad. And front end it.
Yeah.
And front end it.
Just so you're probably going to get the most productive years out of them in the first couple. So just front load those and.
I would say he's got at least 4 good years left on him.
He's only 28. Yeah.
Yeah, heck, who knows? The guy could be, and a contact hitter could still be going at 35. Easy. Right. So, like you said, just don't see him on the Yankees. Period, though.
Yeah, he was a Red Sox. He's a Red Sox that didn't like the Yankees. He was a menace to the Yankees when him and Mookie were in the outfield, and I don't know. It just feels weird seeing him in a Yankee uniform.
Who else jumps out at you here?
Mainly because he's the most annoying player to watch play, Brandon Nimmo.
Oh, really?
Brandon
Nimmo.
I wish he sprinted back to the dugout like he sprints to first on walks.
I could see the Mets just signing Brandon Nimmo back. Not
Yeah.
a very high price guy,
Nope.
and a very productive guy.
Mhm.
I don't see the Mets messing with their lineup too much.
No, I think if they can finally find something that can win, they will keep that around until it doesn't win anymore.
I could see the Mets needing, a power bat or two.
Yeah.
I could see them going after a big third baseman. I don't know who would be available in that category when you're looking up and down this, these lists that we got here.
I
Nobody really
mean,
jumps out, but
they
I.
brought up Brett Beatty.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I didn't
If
think
now
about
if
that.
now if he struggles, they might look into it, and
Yeah,
think you might have to trade him now while he still has some prospect value. You might get something in
yeah.
return that's worth it.
I the Braves have just had a lot of success with young guys this year, and I'm sure the Mets have seen that, and they're just like,
Mhm.
listen, it's about time we take a chance on some of our young guys here
Right.
because Eduardo Escobar, for everything that he was toward the first half of the year, that poor guy's just struggling. So no, I could see them taking a big chance on a stick at third base, but other than
Yeah.
that, I think they keep their pieces. Nimmo for
Yeah.
sure. He's a good piece for him. I'm gonna bring up a guy, and he is of the age of 30 years old, behind the dish, but is still just yakking all over baseballs, and that is Wilson Contreras. At this point, if he was not gonna be a Cub, I felt like it was gonna be now, and it wasn't.
I thought at the deadline that okay, we're talking about football now, Nick. The San Francisco Giants would trade for him because their catcher, Kurt Casale, cannot be your starting catcher on a playoff team.
Yeah, and poor Joey Bart.
Yeah, he's pitiful. We don't need to get into that.
Yeah,
I just thought that the
MLB The
Giants
Show gave
have
him
the
about 10
farm.
cards. They knew it was time to.
We can't take on
They
MLB the
they
show
knew it
today,
was
Kobe.
time to. They knew it was time to shell them out just in case. Oh
Oh
goodness.
Lord.
But anyway, keep going.
Um, I think that the San Francisco Giants will be a team that will also pursue him this offseason.
I just don't think that the Cubs can give him the money that he really deserves over the last 4 or 5 seasons, whatever he has left here. I don't know how long he wants to go. I don't know if he wants to be a Yadier Molina guy that goes to 40. But I say somebody takes a 4 or 5 year deal for him
Oh,
and
for sure.
gives him good money. I don't know if Chicago Cubs can come up with enough money to even get a little hometown discount deal, even though he's been there. So I think
I just
it's time to go try to win somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't know. He got the ring in 16 with the Cubs, was a part of that core group.
Yep.
And he needs a fresh start. And the Cubs need a clean slate. They need to restart.
Yep. I think two guys that we can talk about together are the two guys right above him on the list, Sean Manaya and Josh Bell. I think Sean Manaya would be a guy that they would retain before they retain Josh Bell, in my opinion. Josh Bell's only 30, so he's still got, I'd say somebody takes a 5, 6 year shot on Josh Bell. The Nationals took a shot on Josh Bell, and he turned it around, and he has looked, great. Looked great. Hit a couple home runs last night.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I see a
He
team
is,
taking a chance on him, but I don't see San Diego bringing him back. I'd say San Diego might try to go a younger route.
I think what what I think the outlook is for the Boston Red Sox is Rafael Devers is going to go to DH.
Hmm.
Tristan Cassis is going to come up and play third base. They're going to sign Josh Bell, and he's going to play first base.
Okay.
Switch bat in a hitter-friendly ballpark, big power, light tower power. He's hitting 40 bombs in Fenway.
What has Jeter Downs done anything?
Got
'Cause I
sent
know,
back down a couple times.
yeah. I mean, I know he got. I just like I don't. There's not going to be any space for him there anytime. So Trevor Story. I don't know how long his deal is. Xander Bogaerts is a guy that I don't. He's a guy that's synonymous with like Xander Bogaerts and Devers are going to be Boston Red Sox.
But yeah, I agree with that.
Now, the one guy that I think you could probably bring up, if you got Josh Bell going over, do you think JD and you want
JD
Devers to be?
Martinez is leaving.
Yeah. So if Devers is moving to your DH spot, JD Martinez is out.
Yeah.
So
Now, if they can't do that, I say they probably leave it how it is. Go Cassis at first, Devers at third, and then try and keep JD for a couple more years, maybe to I don't know, just till they can find something better and younger.
Yeah, but I do think it's time for San Diego to maybe clean up a couple older pieces in their starting rotation. Maybe it's time to move on from Blake Snell, see if you can't, but I think Sean Manaya is a guy that they could probably keep. He's been good since he came over, so seems comfortable in the role. Anybody else? We're under 5 minutes, so
Yeah. I think I see one more that might be interesting. And it's a signing that I thought was smart for the Rays at the beginning of the year, but he hasn't been amazing. It's Corey Kluber.
hey, yeah, I
Been on top of the world and going back down to the bottom. I
I
still think. I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off.
no,
Dude.
keep going. You go.
Uh,
Your guy.
I think. I mean, he's got 2 Cy Youngs. He has the veteran leadership. He has to go to a somewhat competitive team like the Mariners or someone like that needs their young pitchers to be guided. That's how it's going to
Oh, I know where he's gonna go.
be. Where?
The Cleveland Guardians.
Oh, reunion.
Yeah,
Hey,
reunion. Dude, I'm all about a reunion. I
I'm
don't
all
know
about a
what it is.
reunion story, man. It makes me feel
But
good.
a team that is right in the playoff hunt here,
Yeah.
a team that's got a lot of young pieces.
And they have Jose Ramirez locked up long term.
Yep, they have Jose Ramirez locked up. Tristan McKenzie's a guy that's been looking really good for them.
He has been looking amazing.
And they've still got Shane Bieber. I think that Corey Kluber could go hold down a 4th or 5th spot in the rotation, maybe bring up another young guy to fill out the rest, and just let Corey Kluber help him out there. He's not going to kill you. He's obviously not going to put up Cy Young numbers or anything, but he's not going to kill you either. So if you want the guy in the clubhouse, bring him in to be in the clubhouse. I could see it. I could see it happening for sure.
Like he's valuated here at $8 million. I might pay him $8 million just to be my pitching coach.
Yeah,
just because I mean, he just got too much knowledge to just not be of use to a team at this point.
Yep. 2 young guys, real quick, that I want us to talk about before we get done here. One's younger than the other. Gary Sanchez. What is going to happen with Gary Sanchez this offseason? Because he's hot, then he's not, then he's okay, then he's not. The defense has never really been there. He's tried to help it. New York finally had to get rid of him because just everybody was so upset with him.
Yeah.
I just don't know about Gary Sanchez. Maybe he goes in DHs for a team or something.
Shout out to CJ. I think Gary Sanchez will be a Washington National. I just think small market team rebuilding. They'll give him enough money that it's still going to be life-changing amount of money.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's young. He's 29.
Yeah, he's still 29, and he could put up 20, 30 bombs. Catching and DH and some. He's going to be a somewhat productive player as long as he's on the field.
I could see that being a hold me over player, a little bit of a name there.
Right.
Nobody's saying Gary Sanchez is going to win an AL MVP, but when you say Gary Sanchez, everybody knows who that is.
Right.
Last guy, Adam Frazier. He's been a guy that's bounced around a little bit after that little surge, that little surge that he had with the Pirates. At this point, I think Adam Frazier goes to a team that is trying to get into the playoffs. Right. I don't think anybody that's winning playoff games takes a chance on Adam Frazier next year.
I think the Mariners took a chance on having a guy that was, gets a lot of hits, gets on base a lot, plays good enough defense, and then he just hasn't gotten a lot of hits. And
same thing last year when he got traded to the Padres.
Yeah, he just didn't hit.
Maybe you see a Pirates reunion. I don't know.
I mean, maybe
I could see that.
Maybe he needs a small market team that doesn't get media attention, like someone like the Pirates,
And the Pirates are probably not that far off from maybe making a little playoff run themselves to get a couple of them young guys up. So
I just, a couple of years, 2-3 years for the Pirates, they're going to be having a story like the Orioles are having this year.
Well, I can't wait until we get to the off season and get to cover all that stuff for the channel. Oh,
dude, I can't wait. I cannot wait for postseason baseball with the new playoff format. I just think it's going to be so interesting to see for the first time. And, obviously our favorite team's deep in the hunt.
But anyway, everybody like, subscribe, help us out. We appreciate everybody that's been watching. If you watched the video to this point, comment down below, take the hoodie off. Because Nick over here got the headphones over the hoodie. So thanks. We appreciate it.
See ya.